Alright, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, the latest series of physique updates from Rubiel Mosquera, better known as NECKZILLA, who earlier this year had just recently earned his pro card and then made his pro debut at the Prague Pro, where I think he had a pretty successful showing. To be top 3 at your pro debut, behind only Michael Krizo and Samson Dauda, was very impressive. And Rubiel is a guy that we had been talking about for a while. We've seen these crazy pictures of him. He had this kind of NECKZILLA nickname for a few years now. And he's a guy that we've been watching in the IFBB Elite Pro, waiting for him to make his move to the Pro League. And now that we've seen him do that, he's proven that he can actually be a real threat. And he's proven that as big and freaky as he looks in these Instagram updates, he also looks as big and as freaky on stage. So he's proven that he can stand toe-to-toe with some of the biggest open guys that have placed at the Olympia, Krizo and Samson. And he still looks massive. He still looks good. He's the real deal. He's proven that. So we got this Arnold Classic lineup. The list came out a few days ago, maybe a week ago now. And Rubiel's name was on that list. He got the invitation. Now he's posted this series of physique updates at around 10 weeks out from the Arnold, where he looks massive. The width of this guy, especially in that first picture, the front lat spread, he looks gigantic. He looks really good. And I just have a feeling he's going to surprise people at the Arnold Classic. I think he surprised a lot of people even at the Prague show where he was top 3. I don't think many people were expecting him to be really toe-to-toe like that, just right off the bat with guys like Krizo and Samson Dauda. And keep in mind, he also beat Nathan Diasha at that show. He placed ahead of him. And it's tough when it comes to these newer guys that have a lot of hype and are getting a lot of attention online and look really good on social media. Because if you talk about a guy like that and you're overly optimistic, then people think he's getting hype that he doesn't deserve. But I think he really did prove himself at this Prague Pro. So I want to be cautiously optimistic going into the Arnold, but I think there is a real possibility he could be a first call-out guy at the Arnold. He could be in the conversation in that top 6 at the second biggest bodybuilding show in the world, and that will be only his second pro show in the IFBB Pro League. And I'm not saying I think he's going to win, but just the fact that he could be in that conversation in an Arnold Classic that has the previous year's Arnold Classic champion, Samson Dauda, who's also a top 3 Olympian, and a former Mr. Olympia, Hadi Chupin, who is runner-up at the Olympia this year. Just the fact that Rubiel, and he's only in his mid-20s, he's young, he's a new pro, and he's really competitive. Just the fact that he could be this young and this new, and right off the bat be in an Arnold lineup where he's potentially in a first call-out conversation with a Mr. Olympia and an Arnold Classic champion, I think is pretty damn impressive. And even at that Prague show, I thought top 3 was really good for him. I saw people in the comments even arguing that he should have beaten Michael Krizo. And this is going to sound kind of similar to what we've said about Big Ramy as Ramy was coming up. The two things that I really think if Rubiel is able to fix as he grows into the Pro League is the balance between his upper body and lower body, because obviously he's got these insane legs. They're gigantic. But I don't think his upper body is huge, but I don't think it's quite there, especially his back. If he can make his upper body as big and freaky and match the lower body, he's going to be very dangerous. And the other thing, same as Ramy when he was coming up, conditioning. I know that when he competed in the IFBB Elite Pro, that conditioning was one of the things he constantly got criticized for. And his conditioning was pretty good in Prague, but it is going to need to be better at a level like the Arnold Classic or potentially the Olympia for him to be competitive with those level of guys. But suffice to say, I am very excited to see what Rubiel is going to be able to do here. And you also have to consider the fact that in Prague, he had competed the day prior to the Prague Pro show because that was when he earned his pro card. So with this Arnold situation, he only has to prepare for the Arnold. He doesn't have to worry about any other shows. He only has to peak for the Arnold Classic. And in theory, that really should be something that works to his advantage. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Where you guys think Rubiel is going to place at this year's Arnold Classic 2024. Now, next up in the news, we also got another update from Samson Dauda, this time ahead of the Arnold Classic UK. He tags the UK in this post. And we know that Samson will be doing both. He's going to be defending his Arnold Classic US title. Then just a couple weeks later, he's going to be in the UK going for that title. And he posted this most muscular, which would put him 10 weeks out from US, 12 weeks out from UK. And a lot of the conversation with Samson as he's been posting these updates in the comments has been how fast he's improving. He looks better almost every time he posts an update. And he's been competing a lot. So typically, it's kind of the opposite. When a guy competes a lot or too much, typically the conversation starts to become, well, he's starting to fade. His physique looks tired. His physique looks burnt out. But with Samson, his physique seems to always have that pop to it. He always looks fresh. He always looks a little bit better, a little bit improved. He never looks like his physique is tired or burnt out. And he did the Arnold Classic, the Olympia, 2 major shows. Then continued to compete for a few shows after that. And now he's going to be doing the Arnold UK and US and presumably the Olympia in 2024. And the remarkable thing about him is just he doesn't seem to be fading. He seems to be getting better the more he competes. And I've said this before, but if he does win the US and the UK Arnolds, which is not a foregone conclusion because he now has to face Hadi, I believe that puts him as the bodybuilder that would have won the most prize money in 1 year's time, in 12 months' time, if you include the 2023 Arnold prize money that he won, the 2023 Olympia prize money that he got for 3rd place, the shows that he won afterwards, and then the Arnold UK and US 2024 prize money. I don't think there's ever been a bodybuilder that's won more prize money than that if he wins those 2 shows. That's putting him at close to $1 million in prize money in just 12 months' time. We're not talking about sponsorships. We're not talking about brand deals. We're not talking about promoters paying him extra on the side. We're talking about winning money from bodybuilding, professional bodybuilding. I don't think anyone's done that in a year. And then if by some miracle he goes on to win the Olympia also in 2024, I think that's the best, 18-month run in bodybuilding history. So I only point that out to say that every time we look at a physique update from Samson, we could be looking at bodybuilding history in the making with these updates. Now, next up in the news, we did also get the Arnold Classic UK lineup, and not surprisingly, it's pretty similar to the Arnold Classic US. You've got James Hollingshead, Samson Dauda, Akeem Williams, Antoine Vaillant, Andrew Jacked, NECKZILLA again, Rubiel Mosquera, Mohamed Shaban, Hadi Chupin, and John De La Rosa. So I think the biggest thing that surprises me here is that Hadi is doing both shows. And I'm sure the prize money here is a big factor, like I just mentioned with Samson Dauda. I mean, it's over $400,000 in prize money between the 2 shows. It's more than the Olympia between the 2 shows. So if somebody, like Hadi or Samson, for example, were to win both shows back-to-back, it's a pretty big payday. But like I said when we talked about the initial Arnold list, the thing that surprises me is Hadi, because we've never seen Hadi really since he's been a top 3 Olympian. I don't think we've ever seen him do a show outside of the Olympia since he started placing in that top 3, and now he's doing 2 back-to-back now that he's lost the title. And the thing I like about shows like this that have a stacked lineup being this close in proximity to each other, because in the past, the Arnold UK and the Arnold US were months apart, is you get to see a rematch of like the week prior show. You basically got the entire lineup here. You get to see them basically run it back. So you could see Hadi win the Arnold US, and then Samson could come back and win the UK, or vice versa, or maybe both. And then if you go over to the classic physique list, you've got Wesley, Urs, and Breon again. So Urs looks like he's making good on that initial goal of doing all the Arnold Classics this year. That's 2 out of 3 so far. And presumably he would also do the Arnold Classic South America, or the Arnold Classic Brazil, as they call it. But overall, it looks like March of 2024, we've got quite the entertainment ahead of us in the bodybuilding industry. Back-to-back stacked shows for open bodybuilding and classic physique. Now, the final story that I've got for you guys today, Nick Walker. Over the last couple days, we've got several pictures of Nick. We got to see a pretty good look at his physique in these pictures, and he still looks incredible. I mean, his upper body at least. We don't know exactly what his lower body's looking at, but we did just see him at that guest posing. But his upper body looks incredible. He still looks really lean, really big, really full. And again, the fans are wondering, when are we going to see Nick compete again? Because he will have to re-qualify for the Olympia if he wants to compete at the Olympia in 2024. So he will have to compete prior to the Olympia next year. We know now that he's not doing either Arnold Classic, so perhaps a smaller show, and perhaps later on in the 2024 year, but he does look really good. He looks like he could be getting ready for a show now. And I think when a lot of people saw that guest posing, even with the hamstring injury, he looked like he could have competed a couple weeks from that show. And he did say after that hamstring injury that it wasn't as severe as they initially thought, so maybe we do see him on stage. sooner rather than later. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think we're going to see Nick Walker make a strong comeback? Do you think he's going to be winning shows, top 3 at the Olympia again? Or do you think this could be a career-ending injury? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. That's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click the bell notification icon if you have not already. And as always, I love you guys, appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NICKS&P, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel, and consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.